Hi there, this video is to help you get rid of tension headache or neck tension, trapezius tension up here. And we are going to start with a chest stretch. So you're gonna lay on your stomach on the floor. We're gonna have the toes hooked. We're going to have one arm straight out to the side. I'll turn toward the camera so you can see what's happening. And then the other arm bent like this. We're trying to open up the chest here because a lot of tension or tightness in the front of the chest pulls the shoulder blades forward and causes these muscles back here to be pulled on and feel like they have to grip and try to pull back to proper position. So by opening up the chest, it's going to allow the shoulder blades to sit back in a proper position without having to hold on to that tension and try to pull you back. So one arm is straight out. We're going to look away from that straight arm. We're going to crawl that straight arm out. You can already start to feel that stretch because we're getting that arm really separate from the chest. You're using your hand here to help push you over. Really reaching that arm way to the side, like somebody is pulling that straight arm away from you as you roll toward it. You're going to come as far as you feel like you can and still breathe and feel like it's a nice stretch, and then just lay your head down and then just start to take some deep breaths. In through the nose, filling your lungs. Out through the mouth, really letting everything kind of relax and sink in. You might notice that your shoulder down here under your head is pushing down toward the floor or dumping into the floor. See if you can lift that shoulder away from the floor. So it's like the front tip of the shoulder. We're trying to lift it away from the floor, and then do another of those deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Every time I breathe out long and slow like a deflating balloon, I notice that I get a little bit more relaxed into it and my hips go back a little bit further. If your starting point is a little bit more here, you don't have as much flexibility, you can always stick that knee out here to the side as a little prop up. And then just hold it here, and then as you breathe, you would push more here, and if you feel like you're getting far enough that you want your hips to go back, then you would just stack that foot up. So I'm going to do about 3 more breaths here, keeping the head relaxed, filling the lungs, inhaling, and then as I start to sink into this more, it's easy to kind of let go of that shoulder. I'm starting to dump my shoulder into the floor. And you can kind of move that shoulder, allow it to dump into the floor, and then try to peel it up away from the floor as you breathe out. Inhale through your nose. I'm starting to get this top leg actually dropping all the way back because my top hip is actually starting to fall behind my bottom hip. One more breath here. If that top hip is really starting to get far behind, then you're just going to bend that knee and let that knee hang out. I'm not quite that far back though because it was really hard to let my knee hang back. I was sort of having to force it. So I'm going to go back to the straight leg. I'm not quite far enough back for that knee up position yet. Which explains probably why I have a tension headache, because my chest is tighter than usual and it feels pretty tight here. Okay, I'm going to come back and get reset for the other side. I will be right back because my dog wants to come in. All right, I feel much better on that side. Let's get the other side. So I'm gonna come down here, put this arm straight out, put this arm bent. I'm gonna crawl that hand away as I start to roll toward it. Bring this hand with me. No, you go over here. Bring this hand with me, and then once I get to where it feels like a good stretch, I'm gonna lay my head down and just start that breathing. Deep breath in, filling your lungs through your nose, and then exhale, my hips drop back. I find myself getting a little deeper into it on the first breath already. Inhale. And then watch out for that shoulder dumping into the floor. See if you can pull it up and back and away from the floor. And exhale. Once you get used to this, you kind of feel like you could hang out here forever. If you're not used to it, you might feel like you don't want to hang out here this long. And that's okay. Go in and out of it. Take a break and come back and try again. Sometimes it can be really hard to hold a stretch that you're not used to, and you kind of just need to give your body a little bit of an intro to it in little bits and pieces at first, and over time you'll get more accustomed to holding it longer, and it'll feel good to hold it longer. But always make sure that you can breathe fully through any position you're holding, because if you can't keep steady breathing, then you're not really owning that position. Your body's not ready for it. You're bracing against it. You're probably compensating somehow, overdoing it somehow. Always make sure you can breathe through any movement or position. All right, I'm going to come back to the front. We're going to do this one more time, but we're going to put an angle in it, because we not only have our regular pec muscles, but we have some deeper pec minor muscles that go more at a downward angle, and that could be pulling the shoulder blade down and forward more. That could be affecting these muscles as well. So instead of going straight out to the side, I'm going to move my arm up about one number on the clock. So if I was out here at 9 o'clock, I moved up to about 10 o'clock. And then same thing, I'm going to start to roll toward that side. I'm probably going to find myself tighter here because these muscles are deeper underneath. So, Katie. So there's more tissue, more muscle and more tissue layers over these muscles, kind of keeping them a little bit more tightened down and harder to open up. So same thing, we're going to do that breathing. Make sure that your arm hasn't gone too high up. If it has, you're gonna feel like it probably feels easier to do this stretch. You still wanna feel like you're getting kind of a deep lower chest stretch instead of just a shoulder stretch. Inhale. I definitely feel tight here too. I'm trying to keep that shoulder pulled up and back. That's gonna help it be in the chest and not dumping into the shoulder, which might bother the shoulder. We don't wanna bother the shoulder. We wanna make sure we're actually stretching through the chest. Okay, and then I'm gonna get the other side. So now on this one, going straight out first, then I'm gonna move it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna crawl that arm away as if somebody is pulling that arm away from my shoulder as I roll toward it. And settling in. If any of this feels like it bothers your elbow, it might just be that your shoulder isn't ready for this position. You've gone too far, or you're not used to lengthening your elbow out completely, like locking your elbow out completely, in which case you could put a tiny little bend in it. But be careful that that doesn't bother your shoulder. If anything's bothering anything, you've taken it too far, you want to just come into it in little bits, in less amount, and do it in little smaller amounts of time. And build up slowly. There's apparently some dogs outside, so she's overly excited. Katie, come here. Back in. Whew, that's much better. There are a couple other variations we could do on this. You could try a bent arm, so a 90 degree. It's still straight out from your shoulder. You could also do a little bit of an upward angle, still keeping the bend, but this upper part of your arm would have a slight upward angle. So let's do a little bit of that. I'm still gonna crawl that arm, slide that arm away from me, because we wanna really separate it from the chest, right? If I were to come over and just leave the arm here and kind of do this, it just sort of made me squish my shoulder into my ear. I wanna get that length, really open up across the front of the chest. Same thing, I'm gonna press myself over toward this arm. I'm still trying to hold that shoulder up and back away from the floor. It's gonna help me feel the chest more. And there's a little bit of a tension going on too. I've got maybe a tiny bit of pressure in the elbow to help me hold that shoulder back. That's gonna kind of deepen the stretch and allow your body to kind of learn how to hold control in this position. And you can do little intervals of pressing that elbow into the floor, so you're kind of using your chest muscle, trying to contract it while it's in this position. You can also do that with the straight arm version. Come back and get the other side here. So now I've got this 90-degree angle. I'm gonna slide that arm away from me, lay the head down. Keep a little bit of tension and control. This position might feel harder if you have a difficult time getting your shoulder into external rotation. So only do what feels doable for you. If it bothers your shoulder, don't go there, or try holding a bit more tension and control. So you're kind of pressing that elbow into the floor, lifting that shoulder away from the floor, and making sure you can breathe. I actually just noticed on this side, I actually slid my elbow up just a little bit and it felt more comfortable. So feel free to find spots that feel more correct for you, or more needed, or more comfortable. All right, I'm going to come back to the front, and I'm just going to lay my arms, just totally relax my arms, palms up, shoulders hanging down, forehead down, legs relaxed, glutes relaxed, and take a deep breath. And then to get a little bit of front of shoulder, I'm going to clasp my hands behind my back. If that feels like too much, you could grab a towel or a strap or something that allows you to get your hands up here, but have them wider apart. And then I'm going to squeeze my glutes, because I want to make sure that I don't bother my back when I kind of lift up a little bit to stretch my arms. So I'm going to squeeze the glutes so I'm anchored in the hips, and then grab either my strap, my towel, or my own hands. And I'm going to straighten the arms out and try to roll the arms back. You can leave your forehead on the floor here, but I'm still contracting my glutes. Or if it feels good, you're using your back a little more to do this, but you can lift up. So let me show this one sideways as well. So pretend I'm holding on to something. I would just hold that item and try to roll back. So I turn the palms toward each other. In this case, if I'm holding just my own hands, my palms are already turned toward each other. That's causing my upper arms to roll back. Opening up the front of the shoulder, breathing, dragging my shoulders down away from my ears, keeping my butt squeezed. And again, you don't have to hold this for this long. You can do it in little bits and pieces. Ooh, I'm gonna bring this up and just reach the arms up. And just wiggle my hips side to side just to loosen up the back and glutes again. And that's it. We're gonna end it right there. Thank you.